A bill at the statehouse aiming to change penalties for those who cause a pregnancy to be terminated without the mother's consent has been tabled. Senate Republicans and Democrats shared concerns about what could be considered a, quote, unborn person under the language of the bill and the impacts that could have on families using in vitro fertilization. The legislation left no clauses for embryos used for IVF. Local 5's Larissa Leone spoke with an infertility clinic and a family who shares their concerns over the proposed legislation. Larissa.
Stephanie, this legislation would make it illegal for doctors to discard embryos used in fertility processes such as in vitro fertilization, a procedure where doctors retrieve eggs from a woman and samples of male sperm to combine them into a petri dish to create embryos that would be put into a woman's uterus. If successful, the procedure will allow her to become pregnant. I spoke with a fertility doctor and a couple who use IVF to start their family on how this bill will impact them if it ever became law.
Over at Mid-Iowa Fertility, Dr. Don Young says recently proposed legislation that could have an impact on fertility treatments have his patients concerned about their future abilities to start a family.
We're getting calls every day from patients who are worried about this.
According to Dr. Young in Des Moines, last year over 700 babies were born from fertility treatments such as in vitro fertilization. That's compared to the over 100,000 babies born in the U.S. through IVF. And
one thing to keep in mind with this is we have, millions of frozen embryos in the United States. Those embryos will not become a person unless they survive a thaw, be put in the uterus, not miscarry, and then be delivered.
2 out of those babies belong to the Gukin family, who says if the bill were to be taken off the shelf, they don't know if they would be able to expand their family.
It was pretty much like a 99.9% chance that we had to do IVF. And actually, he is an IVF baby.
The pair says even though the bill impacting IVF was put on pause, they have an uneasy feeling about the future.
It makes me terrified if we want to have another child, of what is going to happen with our embryos, if it's going to be a possibility, if we could have a child in Iowa.
Dr. Young shares that fear, saying if the bill is approved, the ripple effect is significant.
They take the step of considering an embryo as a person that's frozen, then that impacts everything an IVF center does and will shut them down.
It's important to note this bill was paused, which means it could be brought onto the floor again in the future if legislators see it fit. But for now, it's not up for debate. Stephanie.
Larissa, thank you.